morning everyone, and welcome to today's video. So we are getting close to St. Patrick's Day, and I figured today, why not do a St. Patrick's Day craft that's not going to break the bank. So I'm going to share with you everything that I got, where I got it, and how much I paid for it. So let's get started. So my number one place to find craft stuff, as you know, is typically a craft store. But getting some crafting stuff for a singular holiday can get really expensive unless you buy it on the after clearance. So my number one place for during a holiday or before is actually Dollar Tree. And I got these two wall hanging decors. This one is a pot of gold, and it says Lucky on the front. And I got this one, which is a 3-leaf clover with some hearts in it. And they were $1 a piece. And so $2 for some fun afternoons crafting. So of course, if you're going to do this, you are going to need paint. And so I looked at Dollar Tree, and they did have a couple of the colors I wanted, but not all the colors that I needed. So I skipped on the paint at Dollar Tree. Now, their paint comes in a tube that's about yay tall, and they did have a couple of primary colors, but I wasn't real impressed with, like, some of them were older and had separated, and even when I tried to shake it, shake it. You see my arms going to the bottom here. I'm working on that, I promise. They didn't really come together, and I'm like, no. But what I did find was a packet of 5-piece Crafter's Square, which is the Dollar Tree brand Crafter's Square, art brushes. And so I picked up a 5-piece brush set for $1. And then when you're doing paint projects, you really do need a paint palette. You could use like a paper plate or something, but the colors really sometimes run together. This is a 6-pack of paint tray, and they were Disney Princess, and it's a little crayon. How fun is that? Especially if you've got a little princess in the house. She'll love these. They did have several different paint palettes that were geared more towards kids. I think there was an Olaf, and I think there was a Trolls World Tour at my local Dollar Tree. The great thing about Dollar Tree is that you're going to find something different at every one. So you may not find this one, but you may find a different one. But 6 for $1, I really couldn't pass that up. And it's just a resealable bag down at the bottom. So if you don't use them all, you can just slip them right back in here and put them in your craft supplies. Sorry for the noise. This type of plastic gets very loud very quickly. So I'll take one apart here. Also, if your kids are having like a sleepover and you're doing a painting party, these are perfect. So as you can see, it's just a thin little plastic paint tray, and when it's done, it goes straight into the trash. No mess, no cleanup, nothing. So this is my paint tray. So I spent $4 plus tax, and our tax is 7 cents on the dollar. So about $4.30. 4 times 7. $4.50 on the high side. We'll just go with $4.50. So my next stop obviously was I needed paint, and Walmart has a great selection of really inexpensive paint. Their apple barrel paints are 50 cents a piece for the regular, the basic color. So this is a jet black. I got a Kelly green. Come on, focus. There we go. I got Kelly green. I got new Shamrock green. So apparently this is a new formula to their old Shamrock color. And these were each 50 cents a piece. Now, because I do have this gold up here at the top, I could have went with gold and yellow, but I wanted to give it a little bit of pizzazz. So I did go with Folk Art Extreme Glitter Gold Superior Coverage. I did pay $2 for this one, but I'm not going to need a whole lot, and especially if it is supposed to be a superior coverage, I may only have to do 1 or 2 layers. So fingers crossed, we'll find out together. So one of my tips on these kind of paints is definitely make sure to shake them really well before you use them, because they do kind of tend to separate in the bottles, and you don't want to just get some glops of just the liquid or just the glitter. You really want to make sure that it has all recombined together in the bottle. And honestly, apple barrel paints bring back so many great memories for me. My grandma used these when I was a kid, and we would do crafts together at her house on weekends when my dad was away with the army. And so apple barrel paint, folk art paint, doing crafts like this really brings me back to being a kid at my grandma's house. So the next thing that we're going to do is I'm going to change into a different top, because if you know me, I can get a little messy and I really don't want to get anything on this nice top. So I'm going to change tops, get some paint going, and we're going to paint. So I'm trying to decide which one I want to do first. And I think I'm going to go with the pot of gold first, simply because it's going to use the glitter paint. So when you are painting, you obviously want to make sure you don't make a mess. If you are doing it over a surface that you don't want to get messy, you can always lay down newspaper or buy craft paper and lay it down. Leftover Christmas wrap, like the very end of a roll that's not enough to save, you can actually tape all that together and lay it down as a crafting surface. So quick tip on how to use some leftover Christmas paper as well in March, because you know, if you're like me, you've got rolls of wrapping paper that you still haven't put away. All right, enough yammering for me. Let's get crafting. painted. And I will start by showing you the first one I did, which was the pot of gold. So this is how it ended up turning out, and I will put a photo at the end of the video as well. So this is how it turned out. I will say that even though it was supposed to be superior coverage on the gold, I did go over it a secondary time. I will say that I think part of the issue was the brushes. The brushes didn't want to absorb, like, get paint in them. It really stayed on the outside. I mean, that's what you get when you pay $1 for the brushes. I think overall they did well. They did leave some streaking, so that's why I did go over some things twice. So here is the pot of gold. I think the twice with the brushes that I had worked for the gold, plus that is actually all of the gold I put in the paint tray. So this was the pot of gold. And then I also did the shamrock. And if it will twist around, there we go. Here is the shamrock. I used the new shamrock for the light green and the Kelly green on the little hearts in the center. I'm really happy with it, and these will go on my wall. Like I said, I think part of the issue was the brushes. You do get what you pay for when it comes to brushes. These were cheap dollar brushes from Dollar Tree. If you're wanting to use them multiple times, I would not recommend them. I literally threw them away, but they were $1, so I didn't really mind. If you saw on my table, and I kind of pointed it out, I think, in the pot of gold video, there's paint on my desk. However, scoot you guys back a little bit. I have things falling down and things falling down. All right, here we go. I have some Clorox wipes. I know, in this day and age, like, we share with Clorox wipes. All right, so I'm gonna take one Clorox wipe, and apple barrel paint is actually water. You know, you can clean it up with water. So I'm simply going to scrub down my desk. And now, really, this is a crafting desk. I don't mind it having paint on it, but I do want to keep it as nice as I can for as long as I can. So I am just going to scrub it down with a Clorox wipe. Make sure I get it all off. And my desk is now clean. Ta-da! I only used part of it, so I will probably fold it up just like this and wipe down my computer, because we don't want to waste any of that Cloroxy goodness, right? So that's it for this video. Bring you guys back in a little closer now. I really love apple barrel paints, and I will say that when I was pouring them into the little paint tray, and I just literally tossed the paint tray away. I didn't try to worry about salvaging any of the leftover paint, because these paints are, like I said, 50 cents a piece at Walmart. If there had been some of the gold left, I may have tried to put it back in the bottle, but, you know, it was just a 50-cent paint that I had some left over on. And see, it comes right off your fingers. Had some on my hand. Just kind of wipe it down with the Clorox wipe since I have it in my hand, and I'm clean. I was pouring the paint into the tray, and they say that scents give you a memory. And, like, I was instantly transported back to my grandmother's house, sitting at her dining room table, painting something, doing a craft project with her. So that was a really fun memory, and I'm glad to be able to share it with you guys. So, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one. Bye!